Have you ever left someone's home feeling more drained than when you arrived? As we age, the quality of our time and the company we keep become increasingly crucial. Certain visits aren't just a waste of time. They can drain our energy, disrupt our peace of mind, and even negatively impact our emotional well-being. However, we often fail to recognize this until it's too late. In this video, we'll discuss 4 types of people whose homes you should avoid visiting after 65, regardless of your free time. Whether it's due to habit, obligation, or a misguided sense of politeness, many of us continue visiting these homes without realizing the toll it takes on our mental and emotional state. Today, we'll break down these patterns so you can make informed choices about where and with whom you spend your time. Stay tuned until the end, as understanding who to avoid is equally important as knowing who to cherish. These 4 individuals may seem harmless, but their company could gradually erode your happiness. By the time you realize the damage, it may be too late. Once you identify these patterns, you'll gain the power to protect your energy, establish healthy boundaries, and spend your golden years with people who genuinely uplift you. Now, let's begin. First, we have the chronic complainer. Some individuals never seem to have a good day, and even when things are going well, they find fault with everything. You know the type. The moment you enter their home, you're greeted with a sigh, a complaint about their health, the economy, or how nobody cares about them. It doesn't matter if the sun is shining or if they've just received positive news, there's always something wrong. If you stay too long, you'll start to feel the negativity seeping into your own mindset, whether you realize it or not. It's not just about hearing a few grumbles, it's about the overall negative energy they exude. It's the emotional burden they place on your shoulders. The longer you stay, the more you absorb their frustration, hopelessness, and the belief that the world is against them. When you finally leave, you might feel heavier, as if you're carrying their burdens alongside your own. Now, this doesn't mean you should abandon friends or family who are going through tough times. Everyone has struggles, and it's natural to lend a listening ear. However, there's a difference between someone going through a rough patch and someone who has made negativity their way of life. Chronic complainers don't seek solutions, they crave an audience. They thrive on sympathy and will keep pulling you back in until their problems become your problems. The tricky part is that they don't always appear toxic initially. Many complainers start small, with an offhand remark about a bad night's sleep or a minor grievance about the neighbor's dog. But before long, you're stuck in a cycle of endless complaints about the unfairness of life. No matter how much advice you offer, they never take action. You'll notice that no matter how many hours you spend listening, nothing changes. The same problems and frustrations persist. Here's something to keep in mind: if you try to shift the conversation to something positive, they'll resist. They might dismiss your optimism or turn it into another complaint. Try telling them about something good that happened to you, and they'll find a way to diminish it or compare it to their own misfortunes. Over time, you'll realize that every visit leaves you emotionally drained rather than refreshed. If you walk into someone's home feeling fine, but leave feeling exhausted, irritated, or even a little hopeless, it's time to reconsider those visits. After 65, your time is too valuable to be spent absorbing someone else's endless negativity. There's nothing wrong with offering kindness, but don't mistake kindness for sacrificing your peace of mind. You're not responsible for carrying the weight of someone else's unwillingness to seek happiness. Another type of manipulative user is the one who invites you into their home only when they need something. You can sense this right away. At first, it might seem harmless enough. Maybe they ask for a small favor that doesn't seem like a big deal. But over time, you start to notice a pattern. They don't reach out to check on you or invite you over just to chat. Instead, Every visit comes with an expectation, something they need you to do or something they want from you. Manipulative people are tricky because they rarely make their requests obvious. Instead, they disguise them in guilt, obligation, or even flattery. They might say things like, "I don't know what I do without you," or "You're the only one who understands." They might talk about how lonely or helpless they feel, making you feel responsible for their happiness. Before you know it, you're fixing their leaky faucet, driving them to run errands, or spending hours doing things for them instead of enjoying your own free time. The problem is, these relationships aren't built on mutual respect. They're not true friendships or families. A bond is about give and take, where both people support each other. But with a manipulative user, the balance is always off. You give and they take. You make time for them and they expect more. And when you start to notice that your visits leave you feeling obligated rather than appreciated, that's a sign that something isn't right. Some people might justify this by saying, "Well, they don't have anyone else." And that might be true. But ask yourself, if the situation were reversed, would they be there for you? If you needed help, would they drop everything to assist you the way you do for them? If the answer is no, then you have to wonder, are they really a friend or just someone using you for convenience? One of the most significant red flags of a manipulative user is their reaction when you decline a request. If you refuse a request and they make you feel guilty, disappointed, or even angry, that's a clear indication. It suggests that your visits are not about companionship, but rather about control. After 65, the last thing you need is someone who perceives your kindness as an opportunity to exploit you. Your time is valuable and your energy is limited. Spending it on individuals who genuinely care about you is what makes life fulfilling. However, spending it on someone who only sees you as a resource will leave you feeling drained, unappreciated, and eventually resentful. If someone only calls when they need something and never just to check in, that's not a genuine connection, it's an obligation. You deserve better. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment on the second video below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend subscribing and turning on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating informative and inspiring content. Now, let's move on to the third category, the drama magnet. Some individuals don't simply experience drama, they actively create it. Regardless of the circumstances in their life, they seem to constantly find conflicts, feuds, or crises. If you spend enough time around them, you'll find yourself caught in the middle of their never-ending cycle of chaos. You might visit their home expecting a friendly conversation, only to be met with a lengthy, drawn-out story about how they were wronged, betrayed, or disrespected once again. Before you know it, you'll be drawn into their chaotic pattern. The issue with drama magnets is that peace makes them feel uneasy. When things are calm, they experience restlessness. Consequently, they resort to stirring the pot by gossiping about others, exaggerating minor disagreements, or even distorting stories to portray themselves as the victims. They don't just want you to listen, they want you to take sides. They'll regale you with tales of their tumultuous relationships, from falling out with neighbors to family members. Suddenly, you're expected to concur, defend them, or even distance yourself from those they detest. Here's the crux of the matter: this drama never ceases. Even if you strive for neutrality, they persist in pushing, testing, and waiting for you to align yourself with their side. If you agree with them, they'll shower you with more gossip and exclusive details about the situation. However, if you disagree or attempt to steer the conversation, they'll take offense. You might even become their next target. This is the essence of individuals who thrive on drama. Eventually, everyone around them becomes ensnared in their chaotic web. One of the most draining aspects of visiting the homes of drama magnates is the emotional exhaustion you leave feeling. The conversations lack uplifting qualities, and the time spent there is hardly enjoyable. A constant undercurrent of tension lingers even during friendly interactions. If you're not cautious, their influence can seep into your mood, relationships, and even your perception of the world. Some mistakenly perceive this as passion or excitement, assuming they simply have a lot going on. However, true friends don't drag you into unnecessary stress or make you feel like you're treading on eggshells, constantly afraid of saying the wrong thing. If someone's home feels more like a battlefield than a sanctuary of comfort, it's worth questioning why you persist in visiting. As you age, you realize that peace is a precious commodity. If someone revels in drama at the expense of your well-being, it's perfectly acceptable to distance yourself. You're not obligated to listen, participate, or shoulder their emotional burdens. After the age of 65, your time should be spent with individuals who bring you joy, not with those who treat you like an audience for their never-ending dramas. Number 4. The negative nostalgic. Some individuals reside in the past, not in a way that fosters warmth or wisdom, but rather in a manner that perpetuates bitterness, regret, and resentment. When you visit their home, the conversation invariably revolves around what went wrong, who disappointed them, or how life was unfair to them. Regardless of the time that has elapsed or the positive aspects of their current life, their focus remains steadfast on what they have lost rather than what they still possess. Initially, it may appear harmless reminiscing, as everyone enjoys discussing the past occasionally. However, with a predominantly negative nostalgic perspective, it quickly becomes more than just about memories. It's about reliving disappointments. They will bring up old family conflicts, past betrayals, or missed opportunities. The more they talk, the deeper they sink into resentment. And here's where it impacts you. No matter how positive you strive to be, they will always pull the conversation back to regret. Have you ever noticed that after spending time with certain individuals, you begin to perceive the world through their lens? That's the peril of spending excessive time with someone who fixates on the past. Unbeknownst to you, you might find yourself dwelling on your own regrets, disappointments, and things you thought you had let go of years ago. Slowly and unintentionally, you start adopting their perspective, viewing life through the lens of what could have been instead of what can still be. It's not just about their own regrets. They may also attempt to shape your outlook on life. They will assert that things will never be as good as they used to be, that the present world offers nothing, and that aging inevitably leads to loss. If you allow these words to sink in, they can gradually feel like the truth. The reality is, life undergoes changes for everyone. There are always things to be grateful for, new experiences to enjoy, and new memories to create. However, the negative nostalgic perspective fails to recognize this. To them, the best days are gone, and they have no interest in finding joy in the present. If you spend too much time in their home, you risk absorbing their hopelessness instead of safeguarding your own optimism. Now, this doesn't mean you should avoid people who have endured hardships. However, there's a distinction between sharing life lessons and clinging to past pain. It's different between honoring memories and being trapped by them. After 65, you should surround yourself with people who appreciate the present moment, not those who only focus on what they've lost. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment on number 4 below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend subscribing and turning on the bell to avoid missing any videos. Your support helps us continue creating informative and inspiring content. Now, let's move forward with our final thoughts. Zasir B. Dupretin and Masun. As we conclude this video, take a moment to reflect on the 4 types of people we've discussed. Have you ever left someone's home feeling drained, frustrated, or emotionally burdened? If so, it might be time to reconsider your social circle and the people you spend time with. After 65, your peace of mind is one of the most precious assets you have, and protecting it isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. This doesn't mean you should cut people out of your life without reason. However, it does mean being mindful of the energy you allow into your space. Some visits leave you feeling uplifted, inspired, and truly connected. Others leave you exhausted, questioning yourself, or carrying emotional baggage that isn't yours to bear. By paying attention to how you feel after spending time with someone, you'll quickly discern the difference between nourishing relationships and draining ones. Remember, you're not responsible for fixing someone else's negativity, fueling their drama, or compensating for their unwillingness to change. Your time, energy, and emotional well-being are equally important as anyone else's. And you deserve to spend your later years surrounded by people who bring you joy, not those who drain it. So, take some time to reflect on who truly appreciates you, who makes you feel valued, and whose home leaves you feeling better than when you arrived. These are the relationships worth investing in, because every moment in life matters, and spending them wisely can make all the difference. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your thoughts are valuable to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating informative and inspiring content. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.